Oil and gas is actually, I think, going to be rehabilitated. I think coal is a filthy energy source, and should, as best we can, be removed. And thankfully, it's being removed. But oil and gas don't have to be dirty. Gas, in fact, has been declared a clean energy source by the EU. And we do have a serious problem that while it's so efficient as a supplier of energy and allows countries to develop rapidly and join the first world, as it were, we do have a supply deficit in oil and gas because we haven't been allowing companies to explore for more. And guess what happens when you have a supply-demand imbalance? The price will go up. And what we've begun to see, of course, is the USA has stepped into this gap. And as we look at the global exporters, top petroleum exporters, the USA, thanks to fracking and a massive build in the southern USA of oil and pipeline and other terminals that have enabled them to get oil and gas out of the USA for export to Europe, the USA has become one of the world's big top petroleum exporters. And quietly, some of the companies, it's through Corpus Christi. Sorry, Darren, there's a couple of slides that are redundant. No one's ever heard of Corpus Christi. I've actually been there. It's not worth visiting, but it's all happening in Corpus Christi. And this is the center of an oil and gas pipeline network in which you can invest. And it's all happening and going out from there past Miami out into Europe. The reason oil and gas is going to be rehabilitated is because renewables are not doing it. The chart below is worth looking at. As we've increased renewables, we need to spend more and more energy to get the energy out of the ground or to get the energy out of the air in order to use it. And the best description or the best analogy we can find is perhaps on the next chart, which is where we say, if you are going for an expedition and you're using renewables, essentially you have to do the walking yourself, but carry the food and everything you need yourself. You are burning up calories, carrying the calories that you will need to eat. And that describes how renewables is done. And you could argue it's clean. It is indeed clean, but it is actually much more efficient to use fossil or organic fuels, because that's what they are, to drive the equipment across the snow, or to drive the electric transmission, or to drive the oil and gas into the power grid, because it's a much more dense supply of energy. And consequently, we think organic fuels are going to be, or fossil fuels are going to be rehabilitated, because the renewables are just not cutting it. And increasingly, the politicians are realizing that the science is not yet good enough to be able to do this at a price that people are prepared to pay.